Welcome to Expand Your World with Pastor David Ogwele.
I got married new, like I told Pastor Sarah. Even if you find me dead, regardless of being sick, if communion is served and he just pass it on my nose, he have not even given it to me, I woke up. I said, I have a revelation of covenant to the point that I would draw the strength from it while you are still bringing it to my mouth. I have never taken anything that came against my body to communion table and came out with it. Never. That's never happened before in my life. Actually, that's where I do my medical checkups. I've been in this journey 30-something years. Never been to a hospital. I visited one recently. You know what took care of me? When I eat his body and drink that blood that was shed for me. But communion doesn't just talk about covenant between me and God. It talks about covenant between me and my brothers. People who take communion and their life is cut short because they engage in anti-covenant practices. Not discerning the Lord's body. They want to be close to Jesus and fight his church. They want to love Jesus and hate the brethren. It cannot happen. Christianity is a cross. There's vertical relationship and horizontal. If you won't take the whole, you don't have Christianity. A crossless Christianity is a highway to hell. It's vertical relationship and horizontal. Vertical is your relationship with God. Horizontal is your relationship with your brothers and sisters. Colossians 1, verse 24. Let's close with that. Paul said, I make up in my body what is left of the sufferings of Christ. Okay, who now rejoice in my suffering for you? Paul said, suffering for you. Suffering for God's people. What we are going through just for the sake of God's people. He said, who now rejoice in my sufferings for you and fill up that which is behind of the afflictions of Christ in my flesh for his body's sake, which is the church. Do you know what that means? He's saying there is the finished work of Christ and the unfinished work of Christ. That there are some things Jesus didn't now take care of. So he said, I'm filling it up. I'm paying that extra price for the sake of his body. Oh, somebody said, what is this man talking about? You mean there is an unfinished work? Yes. When he said it is finished, there is something that is not finished. Have I got your attention now? Please show it to them in Amplified so that they'll get what that place is saying before I give them. Even now, I rejoice in the midst of my suffering on your behalf, and in my own person, I'm making up whatever is still lacking and remains to be completed on our part of Christ's affliction for the sake of his body, which is the church. Do you have Living Bible, another translation, NIV or something? Has Paul gone mad? Didn't he know that Jesus completed everything that is needed for our redemption? I will show you what it is that he didn't complete. I now rejoice in what was suffered for you. I fill up in my flesh what is still lacking in regard to Christ's affliction. That's Christ's suffering for the sake of his body, which is the church. Prof, here is what the issue is. When Jesus finished the work on the cross, rose again from the dead, went to heaven, and the Father told him to sit down. He said, sit down at my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool. That's Psalm 110. I'm reading from verse 1 now. The Lord said to my Lord, sit down at my right hand until something happens. So, what we're talking about, the return of Christ. And that thing, he has been sitting down for 2,000 years now. What is that? Till I make your enemies your footstool. And he explains how he will do it. He said, the Lord will send forth the rod of your strength out of what? Zion. Whatever is going to happen, from the moment you sit down till the time I'll tell you to stand and mount that white horse to descend, what we call the second coming of Christ, is the role of Zion. This authority, this scepter of your office, this scepter of your kingdom, we need to hand it over to the church to use it to subdue the enemy and rescue the lost. So when he got the message, he descended and called his church. They were few then, and said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. I give it to you now. Go ye therefore. What does the church mean to the Father? Let me explain to you. When Jesus finished the work of redemption, there was now one assignment he did not do. You know the assignment of going to all the world to tell them what he has done. So God said, sit down, you have done your part. I'm going to raise another institution, which is your wife, your bride. You are in covenant with that institution, but the job of that institution is to take up the unfinished work, and that is the work of world evangelism. The work of reaching the lost. Somebody said, what are you talking about, Pastor David? Okay. People are dying of Ebola. Epidemic have broken out. And there is no cure. And that's the set of mankind since the time of Adam till Christ. And they are trying one form of help or the other, and people are dying in their hundreds. Finally, one medical doctor or a group of scientists do get into a lab and they research, and finally some of them lost their life where they are testing the vaccines. And finally they found the cure for Ebola. And the man that found the cure has died. The person that was tested on died, but now the cure is available. There is now cure for Ebola. At that moment, the job of those people that worked in the lab is finished. They can say, it is finished. We had a breakthrough. We have it here. It works. But while the vaccine is around, the cure is around, millions are dying. The question is, what is still wrong? Now we need people that will go out to every part of society to begin to educate people, and as they educate them, they will now vaccinate them and give them the injection, and that's when whatever this man died for can become real. And that is what the church means to the Father, because everything Jesus died for, there is one institution on earth whose job now is to take what he died for and bring it to people that desperately need it. Sorry, some people are attacking miracles. Why they are attacking miracles? They have not attacked witches. They have not attacked witches and wizards. They have not attacked the occult. They have not attacked native doctors. So like the man that met me recently, he just went, this same Christmas, 3 days of arriving, his feet, he just marched on the floor, and the thing stung him like, he looked, there was no scorpion, nothing. And then that leg grew and became the size of a tree. One leg is like a tree now, one leg. And they carried him to come and find me. He had to terminate the Christmas enjoyment to come back to Lagos. He needs my help. And you are telling German there is no miracle. What you are telling the whole world is to go back to Satan, because there are problems that doctors can't solve. There are problems that government can't solve. There are problems that has no answer by medical science. If God is not real, let's pack up our Bible and go home. Read that book. You believe a book that is telling you that people pass through the Red Sea. Are you not mad believing that kind of nonsense? A book that is telling you somebody is walking on water, you still believe it. He turned water to wine, you still believe that book. Half of the book is miracles. If he can't perform, he's not God. Then he's weak, because intellectualism and all this mind science and humanism will not get us anywhere. Speaking good English is not enough. You need a revelation of God. They that know their God shall be strong and do exploits. While they are attacking the church, Antichrist is warming up with false whatever that are going to show all kinds of signs to deceive the public. If you're on God's side, attack witches. Let's see how strong you are. If you're on God's side, go and attack the occult. If you're on God's side, go and attack satanic priesthood. There's agents of Satan that are parading themselves as pastors. If you're on God's side, go and attack the marine world. If you're on God's side, go and attack Satan now. You're attacking God. The native doctors in your village are running mad this Christmas. Rituals. Why they are telling you don't give tithe, don't give sacrifices. Go and see what is happening with all these guys. It's not stopping cows and fowls from arriving at the altars of the priests of Satan everywhere. Believe that thing and be doomed. Men that have fallen from glory to intellectuals. He said the world by wisdom does not know God. The wisdom of God is different from the wisdom of this world.